Welcome to the Edge. Mark Twain has said a number of things, and I've quoted him a few times. One of them is kind of interesting, and it applies to the country, the Philippines, in a lot of ways. Poverty is a big part of their life. And Twain would refer to that in terms of the lack of money is the root of all evil. And another one, clothes make the man. Naked people, poor people have little or no influence. Those are kind of poetic and at the same time apply to a country that's being run by a maniac. But he's unduly frightened. He's fighting a drug war, and everybody's a druggie, and you jail everybody at any excuse and all excuses. Duterte is noted for that. But the Catholics are losing ground, and he's a Catholic, has a Catholic background himself. Almost 6% of the people are now Muslim. What does that mean? That means Saudi Arabia is pulling the cord. Well, Saudi Arabia is deciding what's going to happen, what isn't going to happen, when it happens. Because the Sharia law, the Wahhabists, those people that run Mecca and run Saudi Arabia, and the Wahhabists generally, the ISIS, Al-Qaeda, all of that, have a big finger in the Philippines right now, along with China. So there's going to be a real conflict developed in the Philippines as we pull away from the Philippines, because we're pulling away. And the Catholic Church is in decline, so it's discredited, even though it's a dominant population. The Muslims are growing fast. The confidence in the Catholic Church is growing, the lack of confidence, that is, and the church is getting weaker everywhere. So there's no offset for the Muslims, nothing in the way. And an indication of that actually goes back to the killings in Vegas. The guy that did the shooting in Vegas, 600 people were wounded, 69 people were killed. His wife was a Muslim, and she was noted for running back and forth to the Philippines during those killings. Some people believe she was supplying weaponry, and there was 2 people involved in the killing, but the investigations have been stopped in the United States. There's a reason for that. What the reason is speculation. But a lot of it is fear that maybe Saudi Arabia has more influence with our president and our very investigation efforts than people realize. After all, he's got 5,000 American troops out of the blue parked in Saudi Arabia. So here we have the Philippines, Saudi Arabia, and the United States in a convergent situation. You people in the Philippines should be worried about that, because when the imam from the pulpit at the mosque says it's your day for jihad, and he points to somebody in the audience, what does that mean? Well, jihad under Sharia law means decide who is worthy of death and is an apostate against Islam and against Muhammad. That's the conservative aspect of Islam, which is unlike in Iran, which is the opposite. You have a real situation in the Philippines. It's really important. They're being looked at in 3 or 4 different ways. The dying influence of the United States at this time, the power increase of China, and the growing influence of Islam in a country that's destabilized, full of poverty, and a questionable hope, and a leader who's easy to kill because he's making everybody hate him. Assassination for Duterte is a good likelihood. Don't be surprised. Do not be surprised if no matter how much you be for him. He's making so many enemies, it's going to be a likelihood he'll have a short life. What happens to the Philippines after that is going to be kind of explosive. There are going to be fights between religions that are going to develop, and that strong leadership goes away because it's not a good leadership, it's just strong and mean. Look out. You people in the Philippines are good people. Do not let this happen. What I mean by that is put an end to Duterte's behavior. Let your parliament do that, let your government do that. Get him out of there before he gets killed. Don't let him die a martyr. You don't want a bad leader becoming a martyr, but his power becomes greater with his followers. You don't want his followers to have more power to keep doing what he's been doing. He's not helping you by fighting a phony drug war and jailing everybody and calling him the enemy. So know that, trust that, and come to the edge anytime. We'll talk about that. Thank you.